Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and I am joined by my co-host Luke Timmons here today, and we are in episode 92, and we have another blizzard coming. Luke, how are we doing?
Good. It's starting to feel like
winter.
End of January, February.
Right?
Usually, I mean, it's brown out still. Last couple of years, anyways.
Well, it's been like, I remember last year was just cold, and now it seems like we've had... And across the entire Midwest. I mean, I was just talking to Jeff Kreckling today, and he was talking about his lease or his couple leases he has down in Missouri, and they have snow down there, and they normally don't have snow down there this time of year, and they've got, 7 or 8 inches.
Wow.
So it's, yeah, man. And I think you guys are getting the same storm we're getting. We're getting another 6 to 8 potentially now. So.
We're not that bad. We're like 1 to 6. So like,
no.
Depends where you look. It's either going to be 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 or 3 to 6. It's like, all right, somewhere in the middle.
I was pleasantly surprised, though, how much snow you guys actually had. Maybe not in La Crosse, but for sure southeastern Minnesota, how much they had.
Yeah, we got a ton.
I thought there was just a little bit, and, just a little bit of hunting that I did Saturday. It was an adventure. I wasn't expecting there to be like 4-foot snow drifts in spots.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's late season. Gotta love it. It's, yeah. But, today we got a kind of a fun one. A little bit of a recap, some rapid fire stuff, talking about some Christmas miracles. And, I mean, tis the season. We're, 2 weeks away from Christmas now?
Yeah, just about, if not right? It's Tuesday night.
It's not.
2 weeks in a day for Christmas Eve.
What did the elf have in store for today?
Oh, we did. I should say he did. Spoiler alert. Christmas letters to Santa.
Oh, nice.
So like we have like a Santa mailbox out front that we put out every year, and then the boys will write their little Christmas letters to Santa and put those in there and see what the old Jimmy returns.
I will have to do that
tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's it. It's one of those ones that's pretty easy and quick.
I got scolded. I got scolded because I shouldn't say I got scolded. My daughter was not impressed because I think the first night that he got out, he was sitting on the guitar, or I think maybe my wife did it. Maybe that's why I didn't remember. So I was like, oh, that'd be a fun one. Like stuck him, you got stuck in like the middle of the strings and stuff like that. And then I think Nora came out. She's like, what are you doing on the guitar again? just bummed. Like you were already there.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with some pretty elaborate scheme for today, which was kind of fun. But yeah, no, it's
what did he do today?
He was swimming in a bowl of marshmallows with a bunch of mermaids. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
What a lucky guy.
What a mess. Well, it's been not only that we had kind of a fiasco last night. We had, my God, what we had. We all went and got shots at the doctor because Millie had a doctor's appointment. Then we all got our flu shots. And then we had to rush home to dance. And in between all that, somehow I picked up a pizza and I left it outside. And I was like, oh, it's cold. It's snowing. It's a frozen pizza, or it's a, take and bake pizza. I'll leave it outside. Well, somehow in the midst of all that, I believe our daughter, our oldest, let Copper outside, and he got left
Copper
outside.
Had a feast.
And Copper ate the entire pizza. So Copper got a large pizza to himself, which is just hilarious because then we got a phone call from our neighbors. Like, Copper's trying to get into our house. It's like, how in the hell is Copper outside? And so I'm assuming that he got left out or something happened to him. We came back and pizza was gone. So
yeah, he had a good feast last night. Then
he's hurting unit today.
I bet
he's just like, I don't want any food.
I don't want to move.
He's just kind of been a bum, which I feel bad, but at the same time, Copper doesn't care. He was just like, oh God, you guys left me a pizza outside. It's snowing. This is great. Life is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hilarious.
But no, man, I just want to kind of kick off this episode. I wanted to do some rapid fire stuff. Just kind of a recap of the entire season. I mean, assuming that you're done for the year now, correct?
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, unless some craziness happens after the new year. But well, I guess we have squirrel camp coming up.
Okay.
Before the end of the year, so that's always fun. There's I think you've seen it, that cool squirrel trophy. Everyone throws in like $5-10 to the pot, and then most squirrels wins. It's a pretty cool trophy. It's just like one of those like worst taxidermy squirrels you could imagine. And at one time it was holding like an acorn, like kind of sitting and holding an acorn, but the acorn has fallen off over the years. But it's a cool one. Then it's on a wooden plaque, or sits on a wooden plaque. Then on a, like the little metal trophy.
Yeah.
Signs is who won it and what year.
How many of you guys usually shoot every year?
It's so variable. This year's early, so it might be better. I don't know. They might still be really out foraging and storing away. It's so hard because like some years it's been like minus negatives,
just freezing.
It's like good luck. I think that year Fritz won with maybe one squirrel or two max. Gosh. So it varies.
That's where it's funny. I think we tried replicating that last year, and I don't think we shot a single squirrel. It was brutal.
No, if you're gonna squirrel hunt, you gotta like. It's not hard to find them, but you gotta just like sit out. It's like deer hunting. It's like a lot of guys probably just figure like, if you have dogs, that's a whole nother ball game. But like, it's really because you realize that when you're deer hunting is you sit down, you're making noise coming in obviously, and then you sit down. And the first thing that always starts moving is a squirrel, so you just kind of have to sit and be patient. You can only use 22s.
Okay. What about pellet gun?
I have used a pellet gun one year. I tied for first. I lost on total weight. I just shot.
You guys weigh them too?
Well, pine versus gray squirrel.
Okay, well that's a big difference.
If you shoot four grays and the other guy shoots 4 pines, the guy with 4 grays has got more.
I saw a red squirrel the other day that was probably double the size of Peanut. And that's my mom's wiener dog for people that don't know. And Peanut she's tiny, hence her name. But yeah, that that red squirrel was huge. He made probably 10-pound squirrel. Huge.
Jeez.
I'm not kidding you. He's huge. He literally, I'm looking at my keyboard in front of me right now, which is it's like the mini Apple keyboard. So it's about, 12 inches long. It was probably double that almost. And just fat. It looked like a freaking cat. But yeah, man.
Wow.
So these rapid fire questions, short answers. Keep it. You can keep it as long as you want it, I guess, but just short answers. And here we go. So first one I want to hit you with. What was the best hunt of the year you had?
North Dakota.
Best hunt though. Specific day, evening.
Morning. We shot 26, and
nice.
Joey, we set up on this loaf pond, and we had probably 8 guys. So like, our hide was not great, but they wanted to be there, and I think Joey on Midwest Flyways talked about this once on one of theirs, and we're like, it's so hard not to shoot like the first ones that land on those ponds, but if you sit and wait. For that like 8 to 9 o'clock rush, like they just will do whatever they can to land there, and that's basically what happened. They would just come up over this like a little bit of a hill and trees, and all of a sudden there's like 8 teal just flying in, or here comes they just continuously, and it was just like, all right, it was a fun morning.
Yeah, I think that was the day before I got there.
You got there that night, I think.
Night.
I can't remember. You either got there that night or the next day. I don't know.
I know I missed out on that day.
I think it was that. I think it was that night you got there, because then that next morning we shot a bunch more gadwalls that night on a different loaf spot, and then when you came that next morning, we hunted like across the property at another one, and we put the hurting on some gaddies that morning too.
That was fun. So what was out of? Maybe it's from that same trip, but what was the best flock that you had finished for you? Or like the most picturesque, perfect flock that came in? Or it could be a couple solos too.
Oof, that's a tough one. I'm going to hold myself to not just doing that trip again, just for some I don't know, when Pete and I and one of his firefighter buddies went out last week, and we got on some like late season, early ice divers.
Oh, fun.
That was a lot of fun. And I'm new to hunting those long lines, so it's cool to watch. But it's like as soon as they hit that long line, they're like flying, just they hit that long line, just come right in. And yeah, that was probably the coolest finish, because it was like they were just coming. We could have. I took a half day that morning, and I had a bunch of work I had to do that afternoon. But if we sat out there, for another couple hours, we would have shot limits. Yeah.
Fun. So I know mine for this answer, but I'd be curious to hear yours. So what was the worst or most painful moment for like missing birds, where it was just like flat out, just like you thought you had blanks in your gun?
No, it's probably been a couple times, to be honest. There's been a couple like get him, and I shoot. It's like whoops, complete whiffs. Just brutal. The only one that's sticking out, so I'll just go with it, was I went out with a couple buddies, and we went out during that first big snowstorm where we got like 9 inches, and we had like a mallard come in right at shooting, like shooting time, like a minute after. And we're all looking this way. We had our diver spread out this way, and then we had like maybe 8 to 10 just puddle ducks behind us, like kind of over this way. And I'm not paying attention. They're like, oh, mallard. And I turn, kind of like, half standing up.
Yeah.
And shot complete 3 whiffs on would have been probably a really nice
chip
green
shot.
head, but
yeah,
complete whiff. I just wasn't ready, and yeah.
I can only think about that last pheasant hunting snafu with you and Eric. That was bad.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, when they're laying high in the pines, it's hard to. Jeez, it's hard to get them to come down so you can shoot them.
I know. Okay, so what was out of all the gear that you had this year, which I know you had a lot of new stuff to you this year, what would you say was like the one thing that just was like your MVP of just piece of equipment that you had this year?
I bought some new waders this year. They're like the Drake. I think they're 1600 Thinsulate.
Okay.
It's 12 or 16. Maybe it's 12. But they're like their Eco Wader. Yeah, Drake Waterfowl's Eco Wader. They held up, in all conditions, whether it was sitting in the stinkiest, nastiest mud hole in North Dakota or freezing my butt off and on the river. I even... that last hunt with Pete, we were moving decoys around at like 8 o'clock in the morning just because they weren't finishing at all, really, and then got better. But I was moving some of the decoys on our right side of our spread, and when I turned around to fling one, my boot hooked like a root under the water, and I tipped right over. And Pete, the guy we were hunting with, was I could touch, so I was fine, but it wasn't deep. But I was probably like shoulder to midsection down there, so like just this top half was above, so I was soaking wet, and that was 8 o'clock, and we made it to 11:30. Granted, I had a little buddy heater with me. If I didn't have that, I would have been screwed. But those waders, they held up, knock on wood. They made it through this year, I guess, so I like that. That'd be my probably gear MVP. So
what would you say was your biggest takeaway for the entire season, or something, just be a tip that you learned just kind of based off of, success and failure or anything like that?
Just have fun with it. I think too many times, like I'm guilty as everybody, but just have fun with it. Like, I didn't get out as near as much as I have in years past, but I still tried to have fun with whatever I was doing. And you get so bogged down with, I should have done this, should have done that. But you know what? You didn't. You still have the opportunity and the ability to get out in God's creation and chase whatever you're chasing, whether it's birds or deer or elk or whatever you're going after. Like, let's just take those. That's my takeaway, is just just have fun with it. Always learning. That's my big one, is constantly trying to learn, especially duck hunting, because I'm brand new into it. So anytime we went out with guys that knew what they were doing, I was like mentally taking notes. Yeah. Pete had a group of guys that came down and stayed on the river for a week, or by the river. And those guys, I mean, they knew what they were doing. So just like trying to be that guy that's like, okay, I don't want to ask too many dumb questions, but I definitely want to know like how they set different things up. And so, yeah, just keep learning and have fun with it.
Love it. Yeah. Well, that's all I got. That was good.
Well, I gotta hold on. I gotta do one just cause, you sent me this list before, but I gotta do the worst call of the year.
Ooh.
And it's not calling like on a duck call. It was like worst take 'em call. And that goes to Mr. Air Clemens. We were hunting. We literally hunted this with that group of guys I was just talking about. We were hunting this little back mud hole on the river, set up some A-frames, and it was a sweet little spot. And the night before, mallards were just pouring in there. Of course, everyone hyped it up too much, and we didn't shoot anything. But we had one Drake mallard that was just like circled once, thought about it, circled twice, a little bit lower, and we're like, okay, he's gonna do it. Just give him some time, like, on that second circle when he came over top of us, Eric just goes, shoot him, and he stands up. He's the only guy that stands up. He's the only guy that shoots. Completely whiffs. He did like, I wouldn't even say nick it, because it was like two tiny little feathers, just like there was no wind, so you could just see them just like floating, just the two tiniest little duck feathers, just, and that duck was just like, I'm out of here.
See ya.
But yeah, hilarious. It was like, okay, Eric, just you take them. That one was funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but we'll switch her up now. We'll give you some rapid fire for the deer side of this. So what would you say was your best deer encounter of the season, or best buck, whatever you want to do?
It's the funny thing. Like, I came up with these questions, and I haven't even thought of my answers for these questions.
Usually how I roll, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My best encounter was probably with, I don't know, I had a couple this year. It was a very, and the season for me is not over yet. I will hunt until the bitter end here, but in terms of big buck encounters, I cannot complain. There was multiple this year between myself and my brother, but I would say the best one that I had was probably with the deer that ended up getting shot. Actually, I'll talk about it later, but he ended up getting shot almost 3 miles away from where he was home ranging at. This was like October 22nd, I think it was. And it was pre-rut was really kicking off, and I sat in what I thought was a really good spot. I ended up shooting a doe that night, which was pretty cool. But I think it was like one of those nights where it's just like everything happens. And it was like, I saw, I don't know, 10 does right away. I passed on them and stuff like that. Just wanted to get up, see what was going to happen, because the night was still really early. And then it got to be that, witching hour was like, okay, it's going to happen. It's going to happen now. And then sure enough, there was 10 does out in the field. And then out of the woodwork, here comes this, 100. And I think, I don't never got an official score what that deer went, but he was all of 150, 155 inches. Came out. He's a big mainframe 6x6, and came out of the woods. Got really good eyes on him, and he looked at all those does that are on the field. And this is, like I said, it's October 22nd, so it wasn't like the rut was kicking on, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, I think I have a really good chance of calling this deer in. I hit him with the grunt call, didn't care, because he came out with like jaw to the ground, and I think part of that early chasing happened a little earlier this year too. So he came out with his jaw on the ground and didn't do that. Hit him with a snort wheeze. Whips his head around, looks back at me. I'm like, at this time, he's about 75 yards away from me. So I'm like, there's a chance. And the wind's perfect where he's at. He tried to circle downwind to me. It gave me a 20-yard shot, and whips his head around. I'm like, get my bow ready. I'm like, hey, he's going to come in, and then snaps his head back, looks at those does, just chases those does, and he was gone. Never saw him again. And like I said, I think that deer ended up getting shot about almost 2.5 miles from there. And it's a super cool deer, super nice deer. But that was probably my best encounter with the biggest deer. I mean, I had a lot of other really good encounters with some younger 3.5, 4.5-year-olds, but that was probably the coolest one.
Dang. Those ones always are fun, but they sting a little bit.
Yeah. It's just like, well, yeah, cool to see. You know, it's early enough in the year where you're just like, yeah, all right, it'll happen
plenty
again.
Of time left. And then, nope.
Not.
That is the story of my hunting career. It's like, I got time. And then it's December 9th. And you're like, oh,
yep,
that was fun.
Done.
Yeah. Would you say that would be also like your best sit, or?
No, my best sit was probably November 7th. That was 2 days before November 8th. That was 2 days before Minnesota, or 1 day before Minnesota Gun.
No, you're right. November 7th.
7th, yeah. My brother and I in 1 day had 3 encounters with 3 shooters that I would have been more than happy to shoot with. I had a really nice 4.5-year-old that my brother missed that night actually with the bow. I had him at 60 yards. Same thing. It was just like where saw him coming down the trail. I tried to hit him with the grunt, hit him with the snort wheeze, could not give 2 shits, and just kept going down the trail. And I could have flung an arrow where that stands at, but it was like you had a 2-second window to get him to stop, and I couldn't get him to stop. And so I had an encounter with him, and then that night I passed on a really nice 3.5-year-old who ended up getting shot by the neighbor, which is how it goes. But I'm happy for Rudy. That was an awesome buck. Passed him. And then I think I saw another really nice 3.5-year-old that same evening sit that I ended up passing that following Sunday. So I saw 3 potential shooters in a time span of 6 hours being in the stand. And then my brother missed that really big one at 40 yards that evening. So that was a really good day. I mean, deer were moving because that next Saturday, or that opening morning of gun, was absolutely dead and nobody saw anything.
I feel like that's how it goes a lot of times in Minnesota. Like that week leading into gun season is
so good.
Fire. And then it's like Saturday hits, it's like hot. It's usually maybe some rain. It's just nothing's moving. It's like,
I tell you what, the conditions were perfect this year for a gun opener. It was just, there was no wind. It was, I mean, it was dead calm. It was cold, but it was dead calm. And it wasn't like we didn't see deer. I mean, that Sunday, we've talked about it on here, but like that Sunday I passed on that same 3.5-year-old that he's alive as of now. So I'm hope he makes it. He'll be a stud next year, but yeah, it's fun.
And you've been kind of the diving headfirst into saddle hunting. So is that your, going back to the same thing that you asked me, is that your kind of number one piece of equipment, or almost used?
I would say for me this year, I saddle hunted 98% of the time. Even the times that I was back home on the farm, I would intentionally pick a tree and just set my set. There was a couple times where I would take my platform and I would just set up higher, and then I'd use the ladder stand or whatever it is to get up higher than the tree. But I'd probably say that's my number one. I had one hunt, which was this past weekend, of where I re-salvaged an old Lone Wolf Alpha 2. So that's their bigger platform, original cast aluminum stand, which is an incredible stand, but it's still fairly light, but it's really big.
Yeah.
And nothing against Shields. Shields is awesome. I thought my package was going to get delivered on the Friday before we left, and ended up coming on Monday, so I didn't get it. But I ordered 5 new Amsteel ropes for my sticks and for my saddle platform. And all I got to say is, why didn't I do that 2 years ago?
So what are those?
So basically, what I end up getting, I have the Novix X2, or not Novix, the XOP X2 climbing sticks, which are phenomenal climbing sticks. They're like a combination of a bee stick and kind of a lone wolf stick, I guess. So it has the Versa button on it, and they're super sticky. I mean, like you could literally, after I take them off a tree, they're still hanging there, with no rope or anything on them. But nice. I had the original button straps on it, but I took the buttons off, and I would just basically do what I would do with like if you had a rope mod, or you could do with that. I know I'm talking some lingo that some people might not understand, but it's I would do that, and it just got to be bulky with carrying all the ropes and stuff or not the ropes, with all the straps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so anyways, this Amsteel, I use the Amsteel daisy chains from Latitude, and it's basically just Amsteel rope. So it's the 3/16 rope, which is, literally the size of probably your pinky finger, if not smaller. It's actually smaller than that. It's probably the size of a pencil, but it's, it's rated for whatever, 1,600 pounds.
Right.
And now that I have that on my platform and my 4 sticks, I think I cut away 6 pounds. So like now I'm sitting with my platform and sticks, I'm sitting right at about 10.5 pounds now.
Dang.
And crazy. And I haven't got to try it yet, because I just got them on there now. But I was gonna say, the funny thing is I fixed up that lone wolf. I ordered I got all new assembly parts for it from Novix, and they're the only ones that carry the replacement parts, and did that. And I'm like, God, you know what? I'm going to go hang and bang with this tree stand. Like, my sticks fit on there. It's all good. That first morning on Saturday, I went out, got home down on the farm. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire. These are like stories.
Yeah.
But I got home down on the farm at like midnight because I had to put the kids to bed, drove home late. I woke up at 5. I went to bed at 2 because I had to get my gear ready. Woke up at 5, fell back asleep, woke up at 6:30. And basically was like, I have 30 minutes to get in a tree. So I didn't get to the edge of the woods till about 7:30. So 30 minutes after shooting or first light, because the snow was 2.5 feet deep. And they're like, oh, this will be easy. I didn't bump any deer. I'm like, I'll get my tree stand up, and I have all my I got my saddle kit on and stuff. Wow. When you haven't hung a tree stand in 2 years, it's a lot different than saddle hunting, where you just put this little platform up there. It probably took me, I don't know, 30 minutes to get up in a tree with that, because I think I can get up with my saddle in 5 minutes. So it took a hot minute, and it was loud and cumbersome. And I was like, I am not doing this again. So I told Eric for Christmas, I was like, hey, you know what? I put about $120 of hardware into the stand. Here's your Christmas present.
Nice.
So, but yeah, saddle. It's, for me, I really love it, especially after this last year. I shot my doe Saturday evening out of that thing. I've killed, I think, 4 deer out of my saddle now. I haven't killed a buck out of the saddle, but I've killed 4 does, and I love it in terms of just flexibility, quickness. I'm still learning in terms of just setup and positioning yourself, but it's getting easier every time that I get out.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. What would you say your worst sit or worst decision you made this fall was?
That one's there's been a lot of those. My worst sit was probably, this is going back to, oh man, this had to have been like October 26th. And I was back home up north, and hunting a spot that just historically, it's in the hills of Pillsbury. Like, historically, you look back on it, like, seen a lot of really good deer this time frame. And I'm like, but it's a hike, it's about 2.5 miles back there, and you have to kind of commit yourself to going back. It isn't like you're going to sit there until 9 o'clock. You're probably going to sit there until 10 or 11, which is fine. I had the time, and got out there early, found my tree, got set up, was on a good trail, had a scrape in front of me. And it must have been 30 minutes after first light. I just hear this ting, like have you ever had a 22 round fly by your head, or have you heard a rifle round go by your head? And I'm like, geez, I'm like ducking my head down. I'm like, what the hell was that? And all of a sudden hear another one go by. And I start throwing my hands up. I'm just like trying to like make myself big and known, and squirrel hunt, a bunch of kids, squirrel hunters. And
oh boy.
they didn't see me. I don't think they were shooting at my tree, but it was damn close. And I'm throwing my hands up, and they were good. They were nice, and they were sorry and whatnot. But I'm like, I'm 3 miles back into the thick. So I'm like, what are you guys doing out here? It's like 7:30 in the morning. So
I would have lost my shit.
That kind of lost the flav for that hunt. So I left, and after that, but that was probably the one that where like I took the time off, had high anticipation, and it was just like, nope, done.
Yep,
so
not today. Dang,
nope.
That sucks. What was the number one thing you probably learned this year?
Ooh. Number one thing I probably learned is, we've talked about it on here before, but I've had some of the best sits I can recall this year. And I think it's just due to the fact of being patient and only hunting. It goes into a lot of it because a lot of it's historical data that I already know, but a lot of it of just being patient to hunt those right days rather than just getting out. Like I made sure that the wind was good for the stand I wanted to hunt this year. I made sure that the the pressure was lining up with the front coming through, and just like because I only got so many days to get out, and it's like those days that I got out, I would say probably 8 out of those 10 sits were really good sits. So I think that was probably the biggest one of just prioritizing like those key days of like where those weather days line up with, correlating winds for that stand to where it makes sense. That was probably the biggest thing I learned.
I like it, dude. I like it. Now, if you had to describe your season as a movie, what would the title be? The genre? And like the climax? How would it end?
Crazy.
Always a good one.
I'm trying to think of a title. I'll think of a title in a minute, but if I had to pick like a movie that it's shaping up to be, would be like The Reverend, just because it's not like a story of survival.
Attacked by a bear.
Yeah. Well, I guess I almost got shot, but
right.
Just like the grind of just seeing it to like the bitter end, of where it's like I've had some close encounters. I've, gone through the highs and lows of stuff. And then at the same time, like it's shaping up to where it's kind of like it was just like for me last year, where it's like I had a lot of great opportunities and just haven't had anything happen yet. And I've had some shit happen this fall where it's just like, it sucks. I mean, I didn't get mauled by a bear, but
yeah,
it's
always good.
And it's something where I don't know why that movie popped in my head. I think maybe just because like the final scene of it takes place in like an absolute blizzard snowstorm.
Sure.
I'm not gonna go through and kill somebody like he does at the end of the movie, but hopefully I can end up kill a big buck.
Hopefully we don't see Evan on the news.
How about you?
Title, I would say A River Baptism.
A river? Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That'd be a good one. As far as like I can't think of like a movie it would be modeled after, but more so I'll just give a reason behind the name. More so like just kind of just initiating myself into duck hunting and just diving headfirst into it. And just not only duck hunting, but just getting out on the river. I mean, it's kind of it can be a feat in and of itself when it's, when you're flying around on some back sloughs and you've been out. I mean, I've been out on the river, but never really paying attention. Like I'm just usually hanging out on a pontoon or something, so actually being the one in charge and steering the boat and looking for deadheads and, just kind of, I would just say a river baptism because it's just diving headfirst into the river, fishing with the boys, going out in the summer, hitting up the sandbars and just hanging out with friends and stuff. So it's been fun. I'm glad that there's many more years to come of that. So
heck yeah, man. Yeah. I love that. That's actually pretty good. Like that could be like a short film.
There we go.
River rat. There you go. 2026.
20. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what made me think about mine too is like in my long-winded stories of hunting stories, I didn't get to talk about my doe I shot this past weekend. That was ties into a little bit of that. Craziness. That was like, 2 miles, 2 miles. What am I talking about? Almost a full mile back.
We were 17 miles in.
17 miles in. Yeah, I think it was like 12 or 1,300 yards, I think it was, that we drugged this deer. And it was across 2 creeks. But she wouldn't die, man. I shot her 3 times with a muzzleloader. Nuts.
Good God, with a muzzleloader.
Made out of steel.
Did she not hear?
Shot her the first time, and she folded and just laid there on the ground. And it was a 45-yard shot. So I was like, oh, nice. We got an hour left in the night. And like, good chance of seeing a buck. I'm in a really good spot. Deer are moving. And then I look back, 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, she's not there. It's kind of weird. And I look up again. She's right there at like 70 yards now. And she's just standing there. And this is a big doe, too. I didn't realize she was actually that big. And shot her again and just folds down. I'm like, all right, sweet. She is dead. Eric's convinced at this point that I shot 2 deer. And I'm like,
yeah, right.
She got up again.
Jeez Louise.
And then, 45 minutes go by. We're like last 20 minutes of light now. And I look back again, and this is after like 5, 6, 7 deer have already gone through again. And I was just waiting on a buck, and she's not there. And I'm like, what is going on? And she's 100 yards down the trail walking to some really thick, nasty stuff. And I had to make a decision. I mean, it was like, well, I don't want this deer to suffer anymore. That's why I kept shooting her. And at the same time, I get down out of my saddle, run down there, and I end up shooting her at like 70 again. And she died right there. But I was just in disbelief. And so come to find out, 2 shots, I'm going to guess that it was high lung each time, like high lung through front shoulder.
Yep.
And I put 2 bullets through the same, pretty much almost like the same hole.
Oh,
and
wow.
then that last one just did her in. But crazy. I don't know. I just want to say it because I was just like, that was in utter disbelief. I've never had that happen before with a muzzleloader. I'm just like, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's always something with hunting, right? Like there's always like, once you think you've seen it all, it was your curveball. So, I mean, really, this is kind of like we'll do a fun end of the year podcast, but I mean, this is it. Unless somehow miraculously I shoot a giant buck in the next 10 days, but I'm gonna go with probably not. But I mean, like, just what gets you excited here for just 2026? I mean, what are some things you're looking forward to for next year and just season to come? Oh, like fall or just next year?
Just next year.
I'd say, I mean, just the whole thing. You kind of get the pent up all winter, itching to do something, and then turkey hunting hits, so you get to go out and do that. So that'll be fun. New spots, new state for me. So just chasing turkeys again, and then summertime, just life on the river, which will be nice. It's hard. It's so hard now because it's like dark by 4:30, and it's like
it stinks.
It sucks. But like in the summertime, it's like I'd get done with work and we'd be at the landing by 5:15, 5:30.
Do you think you'll pick up fishing a little more?
Yeah, it's like I need another hobby, like a hole in my head, but I definitely need to get. I'm not gonna go crazy, but get like a $200 or something trolling motor, nothing fancy, just something I can putz around in.
Facebook
and
Marketplace.
Then, I always see my problem is I always look for stuff when they're in high demand. So like I bought a boat in the middle of summer when everyone wants one. I bought a snowblower right before winter when everybody wants one. So like I need to be better about, but whatever. I'll buy, just some decent little Minn Kota or something, and then I can just, because then it would be nice just to have that ability with the boys and just get better about catching fish with them. And I think that's probably that's where I have more fun fishing, is just like catching panfish with the kids, like
100%.
if we're catching, like, I would love to get it on like a really good bass bite, or fish some of the the blanking on my names. Wow, you can tell it's the end of the year. But just getting out on the river, learning it more. Mm-hmm. That's my whole thing. Is and every year's different, just depending on rain and everything else.
Did you ever name your boat?
No, maybe I should have. It's bad luck, I think, isn't it?
To name your boat?
No, not to name your boat.
Oh, I've never heard of that, but maybe.
Oh, yeah. I'll think of a fun little name, throw it on the back or something, let the kids pick it.
Which means it'll change. Old Red is my boat. Old Red.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to. I mean, I'm always looking forward to it. So just a new year, learning and getting out there with the kids and myself. And
I love it.
I'll just be, I'll probably I'll do more deer hunting next year. This year was just kind of craziness, and I think a good PSA too is like, and I caught myself doing this, is like, if you're gonna take off time from work, take off time. Don't have.
Yeah.
Shut. I mean, it depends on your job, obviously, and I have an office job, so it's easy to, respond to emails on your phone and stuff, but just take off, get away from it. I definitely caught myself doing that way too much this year, or canceling PTO, or for, things I probably didn't need to, but I felt like it was an obligation. So
yeah,
won't be doing that next year. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's a hard one though. That's a hard one, and it's like one of those things though too, where you feel obligated, but at the same time, it's like, I've had awesome bosses through the course of my life, and even like now, where it's like, no, that's your time. Like you take it and enjoy it and get away and don't even think about it. So those are good, man. I tell you what, I mean, me, I'm chomping at the bit. Freaking turkey season's right. It's going to be here before we know it. So
yeah, good God, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it.
I am fully ready. My wife, I joked with the other day. I'm like, hey, I was like, you have she's ready for me to be done hunting. We'll just say that. But at the same time, I was like, well, this doe that I just shot, this is going all to jerky. I was like, we shoot one more. That could be like summer sausage. It'd be more jerky. Could have like
more food.
Like, well, it sounds good. I was like, but I'm like, well, good news.
I just need like 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days, and I'm like, good news. I'm like, you're gonna get about a 3-week break, or 3 month break, and then it all starts again.
Well, that's what I always say. It's like, winter starting like now till turkey season, and then summer.
Yep.
I mean, turkey season's usually like a few weeks, so it's not that crazy. But then, like the rest of it, I am not doing anything. So
I'm so excited though, because I'm so excited though, because Nora, she's at such a fun age right now. Like, and this is kind of ties into our next little bit we'll get into here in a minute. But like, Christmas through her eyes this year is just, it's magical, man. It's so fun just to see it. And like, I know too, like, I'm so excited to take her ice fishing. I'm so excited to take her turkey hunting this year, because like, it's like now she's finally at an age where she's like, she might, we'll see. I don't know, either she'll want to come with me every single day that I go, but like I can just think and close my eyes and like envision like going out early morning with her on a turkey hunt out at Grove Dolls, and just like, it's going to be so fun, because she's just going to love every minute of it. So yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be here before we know it. And but no, the next bit I wanted to just talk about for a little bit here before we close it out. And I just want to start out with a little bit of scripture. Is, John 1-5, it says, let the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And I was just kind of thinking before we kind of laid out the outline of this episode, 'tis the season for Christmas, and what it's really truly all about. And I think about it, and I think of all the light that shines through in what seems to be some dark times that we have, and just Christmas miracles, and just how this is a very, what's the word for it, time. It's a very special time. I just feel like the Holy Spirit's just kind of always around this time of year. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and kind of how that, divulges through our lives, and being parents and being dads, and just having kids and all that good stuff.
It's good stuff, man. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like you think about it, you only get like maybe 8 Christmases of the, real the kids magic side of
For
things.
sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, like, only that, like, I was going to say, like, I can't remember who I was hearing them talk about it. But it's like, you just kind of said it though, is just where it's like, you only get so many Christmases with your kids. And, for those people that live away from their parents and stuff like that, where it's like, you only get so many Christmases with your parents and with your family too, where it's like, if you got older parents or older family members, where it's like, you only see them once or twice a year. And it's just like, you know what? Like, you probably only have 3 Christmases left, maybe 4. And it's like how important this time actually is. I really love this time of just getting to hunker down and spend time with family and just focus on that,
Yeah. 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 You got to be right. Like we always say, like intentional with it. And carve time out to do the fun little stuff, even if it seems silly at times, but kids love it. That's what they remember. And yeah.
Do you feel like God shows up? We think of like these holy months, I guess, of where, we think of like Easter and we think about Christmas. Do you think like God shows himself more in certain times during these times? That makes sense?
I don't know. I'd say no. I think I think it goes back to you. Like, what are you looking for? What are you praying for? You can, I don't know. Like, you could choose to believe that, but then it's like, are you just thinking that because it's this time of year, or like, the middle of June may speak to you the most for whatever reasons. I think it's just like, I think I think this time of the year, a lot of people maybe feel it because you're thinking back on the year that was and the year that will be. And you just kind of think of the things that you should have done better, or things that you enjoyed, or things that you cherished, and that kind of stuff. And then you're like, okay, next year I'm going to do some of this. I'm going to try to be better about, that kind of stuff. So I think maybe that's maybe a part of it, but I think it just goes down to like, you're looking for them.
Yeah. I think you hit it right on the head, because I was going to kind of break that a little bit, where I think of how, like, don't get me wrong, I love Christmas. We are a Christmas family. My wife loves Christmas, but like we were just talking about this in the car ride home the other day from coming down from the cities, and we've I don't know what the word is for it, metropolized, or like we've made Christmas into something where it's not what it originally was, with like Saint Nick and how we'd give presents out to kids and stuff. We've commercialized it in a sense, but we're talking about like Christmas miracles again and stuff like that, where it's like I think about it, and it's how should I say it? It's something that's always there for us. And like you were just saying, it could be in the month of June, it could be anything like that, where I don't feel like God is necessarily more present than he is at any time of the year. I think we just have all these feelings, if it's the Christmas spirit or whatever it is and stuff like that, where it just all accumulates to where we feel like it's more there, but it's like, man, this is available for us 24/7, 365, whenever you want to tap and do it,
Yep. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's exactly where my head went with it. Yeah, I get so burnt out on the 18 million and one things that you got to do during Christmas time, though. You know what I mean? Like, not to sound like Scrooge McDuck, but but it's just like at a certain point, it's like you got to just say no, and that's okay. Because like if you're just running at a breakneck speed from now until January, you're not going to enjoy it. And you don't get to have those times where you soak in those little moments that, with your kids or with, your wife or whatever. But, it's just like, you can squeeze only, you can squeeze 6 or whatever family Christmases into the month and all this other stuff. It's like, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it, like just take it easy, relax. Just like,
that's a hard thing. And every family is different too. Like I will say now that, we've done our family Christmas the way we have for the last 10 years now ish, 9 years now. And it's like, I I kind of like the every other holiday deal, just because it's like, all right, I'm going to dedicate the time that I have with this family, and we were spending Christmas together. To your point of like doing the rat race of going to 4 Christmases and 3 Thanksgivings, and you're just jumping through hoops just to get to place, and you say hi to somebody for 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, we got to leave. See you later. You know, but no, it's hard, and I think you and I have talked about this, you know, off camera a little bit, but where it's like, of trying to be, you know, especially for me this season, I want to try to be more hyper intentional of just being with my family and my kids, and in making those memories now where it's like, oh, you know what, rather than traveling to go do this, like we're going to go build a 12-foot snowman in the backyard.
That's what they'll remember. They're not going to remember all the other crap.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to remember that time. Oh, you remember that time we made that huge snow hill, or that snowman, or sledding hill? You know, those are the things where they're like, God, that was so fun. They're not going to remember the 6 Christmases you went to every single, you know what I mean? They'll remember going, and they'll probably remember like, God, that was such a pain in the butt. Everybody was mad at each other, tired and running ragged. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, you got to just remember the reason for the season and relax and be thankful. And
do you have any advice you'd give to somebody, you know, I was going to say, because Christmas can either be, it could be a time of healing, and it could be a time of peace, and it could be a time of gathering, and, you know, and all that stuff. But maybe for some of those people that seem like they don't have that, do you have any advice for someone?
A tough one. I would just say, like, again, look, it's hard, but it's what you have to do. And I even need to do it, where it's just like, quit looking at Instagram. It drives me nuts. I'll put it that much. All the just, it's like, oh, look what I do. You know, it's like, I feel like social media's become like a bragging board, like the old brag board at like Fleet Farm, where you stuck a picture of your big buck on the wall. And it's like, that's that for like, I don't know, piss some people off, but that's that for like, you know, families. I'll just leave it at that, where it's like, look at this whole grand and massive thing I did with my family for Christmas this year. It's like, okay, well, you just spent at least 10 grand. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, stop. So my short answer is stop looking at that crap, because who cares? You know, most of those people are probably sponsored by somebody, and they got a lot of it for nothing, put it that way, or cheap. And so, you know, I would just say, like, enjoy the little stuff, you know, like the memories that you've had, right? Cherish those, you know, like this will be my first Christmas with no grandparents. So that's weird. So just like thinking back on like all the good memories you had of going to grandma and grandpa's on Christmas Eve, and like trying to like instill those, you know, same values, like with my kids, like even if it's silly, like my grandma used to work at Hallmark for years, and every year she'd give us a Christmas ornament. And so, I mean, I have tons, like
love that,
30 of them. Well, not 30, but a ton, you know what I mean? And so now we do the same thing. Like we take the boys, we go to Menards now, but they have all the Hallmark ornaments there. And it's like, okay, you pick out your yearly Christmas ornament. It's just like the little stuff like that. Cause then like when they're my age someday, like they get to look back on that and think of all the memories, you know? So it's just like, those are those things where it's like, you could go buy a $10 ornament and it can mean way more than the stupid Instagram post you just watched of some 30-something-year-old mother that thinks she needs to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on her family every Christmas. It's like, you don't like, just appreciate the things you do have, even if they may seem small to you, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot more than a lot of other people have. So, you know, and then just, it's a good time too, I think, just to like connect back with, you know, your faith if you've fallen away from it a little bit. It's not easy, but there's easy ways to do it, as far as, you know, pull up a Bible app. Like they all have some sort of, you know, devotional or whatever you want to say, to, you know, 7 days of of Advent, 7 days of this. So just like read through it and just be intentional with it. And yeah, that'd be my advice is
love it,
get away from the hubble and all the crap. That's good.
Yeah, I
don't know if preaching and they're using the word crap is usually the same thing, but
we're backwoods preachers. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I just kind of going off that a little bit. Like, I just think about this, and me and my wife were talking about it the other day a little bit, where it's like this. I think this is such a great time to just be thankful for everything and anything in between, because it's like the moment that you can be thankful, like you get away from the anxiety, you get away from the stress, you get away from the comparing of with the Joneses and what they're doing, and you just, and it's just amazing how all of a sudden it's like your eyes get opened up to like, man, and I'm very thankful to be where I'm at today, and I'm, I give all the glory back to God, and I'm thankful for my parents and for my wife and for just everybody that's got me to where I'm at today. But it's like, if you just take a little bit of time just to kind of just start to check your list of like, man, what can I be thankful for today? What can I be thankful for this month, this year? And it's like, oh, wow, God's worked in my life a lot of different ways that I did not appreciate like I could before. And then you just start to realize like, oh, you just kind of feel that love start pouring in. And I just think it's such a simple thing, but I think it's just a really good thing for people that you should just try to reflect a little bit and be thankful, because it goes a long ways. And I think you start to feel that love because you're always getting, you're always being watched out for. But yeah, man. Yeah. It's a fun time.
It is. What's this new thing about? I keep seeing another thing that's pissing me off on Instagram. Maybe I just need to get rid of Instagram. That's probably the fix. What's this whole thing about all these Christians that are saying no to Santa, and they're like, we're not going to teach our kids about it? It's like, what's that all about?
I haven't heard about that.
Really? I see it all the time on there. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, he's based off of St. Nicholas, but like, what are we doing here, guys? Like,
and I'm going to have to go dig through Instagram to find that.
Yeah, it's like a brag. It's like that stupid brag board about, look at all this money I spent.
Not humble brag.
Look how good I am. I'm not teaching my kids about Santa. It's like, come on, like, what are you doing? It's not like it's not like Santa Claus is the damn devil. Like, he's literally based off of a saint.
Yeah.
Right? We all know, we'll leave it at that if there's kids listening, but like, what are we doing here? Like, just have some fun.
Probably believing in Krampus or whatever the hell that is now.
No, it's not even that. It's just like high and mighty stuff. Like, what are we doing?
But you know what? That's the stuff you tune out. And
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I should fly down your own road. Instagram.
Yeah, we will keep our Wild Faith one. We'll do that.
Well,
we won't delete that one for you guys.
I just meant more so like quit looking at this dumb reels.
Yeah. It's a hard thing though too with it. We'll wrap it up here, but it's just like, I'll be very curious to see what life's like in 10 years. I just think of how modernized and prolific it is to just be able to share your life with the world now, and how that honestly has kind of warped our brains, our kids' brains, our grandparents' brains, your parents' brains, of where it's like this society now revolves around this smoke and mirrors that don't really exist.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it goes like we said, control what you can control, look out for your flock of family or friends, and that's all you can do. Don't worry about what the world's spewing out there.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening again. This was a fun one. Just a little PSA here. We will drop an episode before Christmas. We will be taking Christmas off to enjoy with our families, but you can expect an episode again. I believe we'll drop one for the new year, and then, we'll be back right on pace with that. So take our, whatever, two weeks off a year. I can't remember. I think we've only missed 1 week this year.
Yeah.
That we took off. So
this will be taking a week off for Christmas. It'll be good.
it'll be nice. Yeah, cool. Well, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.